All right, welcome back to Talking with Ted. You know why? Because it's Tuesday. And this is what we're calling it, Talking with Ted on Tuesday. So today's topic, and for the next three sessions, wilderness survival. All right. So thanks to Danielle for recording. Priscilla created, based upon the presentation, as well as a couple of handouts. All right. So there's an interactive option on Facebook, so you have various ways to engage the content besides listening to me. All right. So this flyer has online available to you 3 different scenarios. All right. One is a lost hunter in the Sonoran Desert, a lost driver, and a lost miner, lost Dutchman's gold mine. Okay, superstitions. There are, once you read it, the situation, you decide which one you want to do. You can do all 3, of course. And then there are 11 items that each of these individuals has with them. They are alone, by themselves. And you are going to rank the items in order of importance to your survival in that situation. Okay? In our next session, I will give you my ranking. There is not a right or a wrong deal. Now, this is a test, and I know test is a scary thing for some people. It's a 4-letter word. But when you're from Bisbee like me, we don't do big words like examination. Okay? So what the point of this test, these tests are, if you do more than one, is to reveal to you your thinking in responding to the situation. What are you going to do? There's one fundamental decision that you're going to make, and your ranking is going to reflect that decision, and that decision is going to be crucial to whether or not you survive. Okay? Now, the next part on this flyer, so I'm going to leave that to you to look over and rank the items, and when we come back next time, we will consider my ranking. Again, it's not a right or wrong, so don't worry about making a mistake. Worry about surviving. Okay. Now, the next page, and you can follow along if you like, is to go over these crucial factors that determine your survival in any situation. We're not in Antarctica, we're not in Alaska, we're in the Southwest, and that's the setting that we're going to focus on, and each of these other areas is going to probably result in some distinctions, but this is where we're at. This is the setting that we're going to talk about. All right, survival factors. What is the most important factor to determine whether or not you survive? It's before you even leave your home, before you walk out the door. All right? Number 1, you have to tell somebody where you're going when you're coming back, so that if you don't return, they are going to initiate the steps needed to find you. So you can't change your mind and decide instead of going to this place, you're going to go to that place, because then when they come looking for you, it's not going to do any good. So you've got to understand and plan ahead of time to do this. Okay? Doesn't have to be a big deal, but someone that can simply call 911 and tell them who you are, where you're at, and that you're not back yet. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, when you find yourself in a bad situation, are you going to freak out? Are you going to stay calm? If you panic, I don't care what resources you have with you. If you have lost it, they're not going to do you any good. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to get injured, it's not going to go well. So if you will stay calm and think to make your situation better, stay focused on doing positive things. Okay? Don't dwell on dying. Okay? Your goal, your mission is to get out of there within 2 to 3 days. This is not setting up some reality show where you're going to, build your little commune and live off the land. One of my edible plant books says people want to live off the land, the fat of the land is not fat. Okay, your job is to get out. And you're going to do that by attracting attention for people to find you, because people are going to look for you if they know where to look. And that's why number 1, number 2, number 3. Stay hydrated. We are not the Sunshine State, but we could be. We are the Grand Canyon State. If we didn't have the Grand Canyon, we would be the Sunshine State. We have more sun than anybody, okay? And the sun is going to eat you alive. Now, in these little scenarios that I've got there, I've got a couple of quarts of water in there. Generally, that's not really enough to make a significant difference physiologically. So it's really more important to ration your sweat. Okay? You stay still. We know about staying still these days. Stay in the shade. If you don't have shade, you create shade. All right? If you're going to have to do something, signal, mirrors, light a fire, etc., you're going to try to focus your activities in the cooler parts of the day. And then you're just going to chill out, figuratively speaking, in the hot times of the day. Okay. Now, I was thinking this morning, there's a couple other things that are going to determine, so I would actually add 3 more factors. Okay. Number 4 would be stay the course, have hope, don't give up. Nobody likes a quitter. Okay. It's those who endure to the end that will be saved. Okay. That will survive. All right. You can't quit. So you've got to have hope that you're going to get back to life. Okay. So positive focus, endurance. I read a lot of death camp books, genocide books, and I read those books because I see in the lives of people that endure the indomitable human will to continue and to not die. Okay, we're all going to die. But you don't want to do anything in the next 2-3 days in a survival situation that hasten your demise. Okay, you want to put that off and survive to get back home. Number 5, innovate. Unfortunately, I have seen recently in my life a tendency to just do linear thinking. Library land's really good for this, alphabet, A, B, C, da. Sometimes people go from A to Q, back to E, then they're going to jump down to M. All right, sometimes we have to think outside the box and deviate and do some zigzag to get where we're going. I mentioned at one point, I think in one of the programs I've done, a bandana, and the multiple uses from signaling to water filtering to stopping bleeding, to serve as a sling. Okay, the more functions that an item has, the more importance it is to your survival. Innovation, thinking outside the bun, as they say sometimes. And finally, number 6, be prepared. Don't be blindsided. Stuff happens. Cars break down. Cell phones, batteries go dead, etc. You lose a signal. You can't just get on your phone and say, help. Okay? So you've got to be prepared. Survival kit. I'm going to mention this now. I'm going to mention it again later. That the most important item in your survival kit is what's between your 2 ears. Okay? Training, education, learning, and understanding that you can't give up. You have to keep going. All right. Now, we're going to look at one more thing before we conclude and come back to give you my ranking. All right. I have here this really cool thing. What is this thing? So we're going to get a picture of what this is. Okay. It is a bucket of what? Looks like a bucket of rocks, okay? But if you understand that in the wilderness, like in life, sometimes we have to read between the lines. Look beyond the horizon, below the surface. Tip this bucket over, and you'll see what's below the rocks. Water. Okay. Oftentimes you're hiking in a stream bed in Arizona, most of them are dry. You turn a corner, boom, water. I hiked through the Superstitions some years ago, 3 days, 50 miles hike. First water to Roosevelt Lake, all right? And it's in November, and I'm running out of water. The route deviated. I had to do some other stuff because the trail pooped out on me. And so I'm going down a canyon and getting a little thirsty, and then I see a javelina, pool of water right there. Okay, there's water out there everywhere. It's not necessarily where you expect it. There are some signs that it's there. Sometimes you'll see a windmill. Sometimes you'll see a cottonwood tree, a willow tree. Okay, look for those indicators because the tree knows where the water is. Underground, that's where the roots are. All right. So you'll be hiking along, sometimes you turn a bend and it's dry as toast where you are at, but you'll turn a bend, there's water. Okay. The ground table and the rock and so forth, the solid stuff, sometimes will push the water up. You don't know what's around the corner. So don't give up. Look, innovate. Be prepared, all right? That's all I've got for today, besides our bucket of rocks. See you next time with our ranking.